I always thought it would be cool if you could go back and listen to the day-to-day of today's highest achievers as it happened, as opposed to 30 years later after they've made it. I believe there's a giant disconnect between ground zero and the top floor because we only see the top floor and the top floor only talks about the top. You know, how valuable would that be? And so it goes without saying, but I believe I'll make it there. And this is the documented journey through each level. My name is Bryson Sessions, and you are listening to the Bed Podcast. So I'm not trying to be dramatic or sad or whatever in this episode, but I personally will be feeling some emotions for sure in this one. But I hung out with one of my best friends today. I haven't seen this guy in like 3 years, and because he moved away, he's doing what's best for him. It's awesome. I'm very proud of him. But went and hung out with him for the first time in, I don't know, years. And we just picked up right where we left off. It was great. Hung out, had some good food, and just laughed and talked. And it was so much fun. And I'm going to talk more about that here in a sec. But I've noticed that when I'm doing my day-to-day thing and I'm just kind of hanging out alone, just working on my shit, I'm not sad necessarily. I'm not longing for anybody, or I'm not feeling lonely because I'm working on something. I got something going on, and so that's awesome. But every time that I spend time with somebody that I care about deeply, and then I have to come home to my house where I'm alone again, it's like brutal for me. And I've noticed that's a recurring thing. And I don't know why I'm just now noticing that, because I did that all the time in Arizona and Colorado and St. George. Like all the time. I would always go and I would fly. I mean, it was worse. I would fly home from wherever I was at back to Utah, spend time with family, get on a plane, and then go through that little journey alone, and then go back to my house where it's just me again. And I don't know why it took up until literally today for me to realize that, but it makes me think about why. I don't even know how to put this into words, but it's like I'm happier. I don't have that opportunity to be sad when I go and spend time with people. And that's like a backwards way of saying I'm happier, lonelier, you know? Or I wouldn't say that that's accurate. I have less opportunity to be sad the more I keep to myself. I don't know. Because I dropped my friend off at his house, and then I started driving home. And I'll talk about the drive here in a sec. But as I was pulling up to my house, I was like, damn, dude, just me again, huh? You know? And so that's that. That's kind of that whole thought. I just, not meant to be sad or dramatic, but it is something I just feel. So, and that's not a cry for help. I'm all right. But it does suck sometimes, you know? But, you know, this is only temporary. And sooner or later something will change. But anyway, so another thing I want to talk about is just kind of feeling like the comparing yourself. So this friend of mine, he's got his shit together. He's doing way good, and he spilled the beans and he makes $200,000 a year. And I was like, dude, that's fucking incredible, you know, because we're the same age. He's actually younger than me, so. And it's cool. There's no jealousy or envy at all. It's just I'm happy for the guy. That's so cool. You know, to think that I'm working 3 jobs and I'm like $15,000 under $100K. You know, like that's just, he's almost making triple. He's making triple what I do, almost triple, you know, and he doesn't work 3 jobs. And that got me thinking. I was like, damn, dude, I could have chosen that path and I'd be there. And then I immediately switched that up of like, oh, you know what? That's true. I might be there, but is he going to be making 10 million? Is he going to be making 10, 20, 30, 50 million a year in 20 years? Probably not. So then maybe the tables would turn. I'm sure he couldn't give 2 shits just like I couldn't give 2 shits. I'm proud of the guy. That's fucking cool. But it just got me thinking, you know, because it's like, damn, this guy's doing his thing. He's advanced. He just stuck to one thing, and now look at him. He's kicking ass, and he's been doing, I don't know. So he's probably been in school 8 or 9 years. So just to put that into perspective, if I were to just keep doing what I'm doing for the next 7 to 8 years, where would I be? You know, And it's not so much about the money. I mean, that's cool that he's able to take home that much, but it's not about the money. It's more along the lines of he's made it to a certain, I guess, point, a little success milestone. And then I'm like, man, dude, if I made 200 grand a year, I wouldn't have to be working 3 jobs to save up to make this first investment into building a business, and it seems like that just keeps getting pushed further and further back because I got to go to this, I get to go to this guy's wedding, and it's not that as expensive, but it happens to fall on a weekend. Well, I guess obviously that I work FedEx. So by me not working FedEx and by me spending, I don't know, $500, that's going to set me back like $1,200. So ish, which is like another month. So at this rate, I don't know, man, it just seems like the whole thing keeps getting pushed back further and further. So maybe not even until January of 2025 that we get this thing off the ground. So that's very frustrating because I really just would like to get going on that. But I don't know. We'll make do. We'll figure it out. But so anyway, there's that. But on the way home, before I got home, and this is kind of what really got me in the feels a little bit, was I drove around my old house because it was on the way home, where I grew up, where I spent, I don't know, damn near 20 years of my life. Was it 20? I don't know. Probably like 16 years of my life where I grew up, the house. I just drove around the neighborhood. I drove around, looked at like all the places I used to skateboard, all the places I used to ride my bike, which friends of mine in the neighborhood lived in which houses, what we would do. I would look at certain spots, like just where, I don't know, like certain speed bumps. I'm like, damn, I used to ollie off of that on my skateboard, Drive around, and I was just looking at the road. I'm like, I popped my tire on this road, and stuff like that. And I drove around the house, and I saw that there was cars parked in the driveway. I saw that there was a light on in the kitchen or the upstairs room. And dude, I just kept thinking, I was like, oh, it's not your room, dude. That's mine, That's my little brother's room. What are you doing up there? And, it's just tough, dude. Life moves quick. It sure does. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy how life just, it's, I don't know what to say. Sometimes things just happen, But anyway, all of this got me thinking of like, damn, dude. Like, I just got to keep going. I can't even think about giving up. No matter how hard it gets, I just got to keep going. So, I don't know. I'm done talking about all the sad shit, but here's another thought that I had, and I'm going to share this real quick, so you always hear people talk about never give up, never quit, blah, 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 and, that's, it's always good to hear, but so few people actually stick to that. And I will very proudly say that I'm now one of the people who do stick to the whole never give up, because I will never, ever give up on the things that I got going. And the whole reason why I bring this up is because it's amazing how your mentality, everything like that, just shifts when you're in times of distress, or we're trying to figure out a problem or trying to build something or whatever. It's, for me at least, I always get stressed out and pissed off and frustrated about whatever I'm working on, but never once am I like, yeah, I'm just going to call it, this ain't for me. I never think that anymore. I always think, well, first of all, I always get frustrated and angry or whatever, all the emotions. And I just kind of soak in it. I'm like, God damn, this fucking sucks. And it's like, well, I got to do something. And then I do something. And I think that's been the most valuable skill that I have, is the ability to not quit. Because today, again, I mean, I took today off of work. I had an extra 10 hours in my day, and I was still struggling. And I don't know what the fuck's going on, dude. I just got to focus more. I don't know, manage my time better. I don't know. But it wasn't like, it's like I don't know. The last 10 days have just been rough for whatever reason. And I really don't know why. I'm just trying to trying to do my best to navigate everything. And what the hell was I saying? Yeah, so I don't know, just an observation. It's just cool how you navigate life when quitting or giving up is just not an option. It's just not on the table. The way I think about that, it's like we have this table right here. I got my laptop on, I got a pen, I got a hat right here, I got my phone, got some paper. And if you can say that these are different things, like this paper might represent, I don't know, just the different options I have. Like I can go this route, I can talk to this guy, or I can do this, or I can do this, or whatever. Just these different items on the table represent different things. But what's not on this table is quitting. So for a lot of people, they've got this is the quitting thing. So I'll just take that. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to quit. But I just don't have that on the table. It's just not an option. I don't have the choice to say, I'm going to bail out on that. I don't have that. And I'm not saying like I don't have it, like I don't have an option, but I'm forcing myself to not have that, or I'm forcing myself to not even think about that option. Because I've tried so hard to run or escape or grow out of that life that I once lived, which was very sad and depressing, and I don't want to ever have that again ever. So by quitting or taking steps backward or anything like that, I'm choosing to go back toward that life. At any given moment, I'm presented with a fork in the road, and that I can go left or I can go right. And one of those directions looks promising, but it actually loops around, takes me right back to square one. And it's the one that looks nicer. It's the one that looks easier. It's more colorful. It's nicer. It's the harder one that looks bland and scary and whatever that you have to stick to. So with that analogy in mind, I don't even think about quitting anymore. And it's just pretty cool what you can accomplish and where your mind goes when you know that that's not an option. Because now instead of throwing in the towel and giving up, it's just like, well, I still gotta get all my shit done. Still gotta drink my water, record a show, and try to learn something new about whatever I got going on. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. There might be days where I fucking blow ass and I do nothing. Maybe I even regress a little bit. But as long as the intent to get better is there and I keep the commitment to never give up, I think I'm fine. But yeah, and just to really hammer home the point of why I even do this podcast, it's so that somebody who might be going through, so imagine there's a guy listening right now. He's, his parents just got divorced. He's moving out. He's got to go somewhere, and I don't know, he's having a hard time. And a couple months later, he starts driving around his old neighborhoods and just starts reminiscing about all the memories and thinks about all the stuff. He's living alone or something like that. Just imagine that guy. And that guy feels alone. That guy feels like nobody gets it. That guy is having a hard ass time, and maybe at this point, maybe I'm 15 years down the road, I got something going on. Maybe I am a role model for some young guys. I don't know. But play that out. This guy finds this podcast, sees that I document it every single day, sees that this podcast is titled The Sad Episode or some shit, and clicks on it and feels not so alone anymore because I went through something that he might be going through. And this is just me kind of just talking to nobody. I'm looking out my blinds at this house, I can already tell that this view that I have is going to be iconic because this is kind of where I spent so much of my time just working on stuff. So when I would lift my head up from my laptop, this is the house that I saw. So, I can already promise you that this is going to be a photo that I look back on and I'm like, holy shit. Like that's when I lived in this place. That's my first time getting to town, all this stuff. But the whole reason why I do the show is to help somebody in 10, 20, 30, 40, who gives a shit, years, to feel not so alone or to be related to or whatever. Have someone to lean on or something to compare to, And also, I want to document everything that happens because a lot of guys up in the top floor, I call it, they have so many stories. And it's like, dude, I wish I could hear you tell that story from you in the moment. I wish I could hear the very first time that you ever did this really hard thing, or you were sleeping in the back of your gym, or you sold your house, you lost your car, your wife broke up with you, or divorced, whatever. Like, I would love to hear those stories live when they happen as opposed to years later after it happened. And that's everything. That's why I want to do this. And that's not just some goal I have. I mean, I'm actively working toward making that vision a reality. I'm on episode 228, for fuck's sake, You think I'm going to get to 228 and be like, actually, this is it. I'm done. No, I've committed to this. So, I mean, even that, just saying that now, because someone's going to listen to this in 20 years, and it's going to be fucking unbelievable when we go back and listen to these in 20 years, because sometimes I don't even... I mean, it's hard to even think about anything in the span of 20 years. I mean, I've barely been alive for 20 years, 27 in 1 month from today. So happy birthday. But yeah, so I didn't mean to get all sad and shit, but hopefully this can help somebody. Hopefully somebody who's maybe 5 years old finds this in 15 years and feels not so alone and feels like, like maybe they are on the right path after all, because this is what I'm doing. I'm not saying I'm on the right path and I'm doing the best, but I'm doing what I can. And I'm giving it my all every day. So much so that I get absolutely so stressed out that it's all I can do to just close my eyes and just, So anyway, this is definitely the sad episode. We'll call it that. I've also got other episodes I recorded, haven't uploaded them because it's embarrassing. But I'm going to upload them. I'm going to write a little description. It's 227B and 227C. And I guess those will be uploaded first to keep it in chronological order. But I believe that they are called, 227B is wanting to quit. 227C is I did not quit. And just a reminder, I always think about quitting, but not to the point of actually considering. So I never consider quitting. I always think about it though. I always think like, what if I did this and I just got a normal 9 to 5 and I, just got married and I just had kids, did that route, just took a nice chill life, didn't have to worry about much. But then I'd have to live the rest of my life knowing that I gave up and that I have so much in me that I'm not able to get out because of the constraints of society and the normal jobs out there that kind of shackle you away from. I feel like I'm a creative. A lot of jobs don't award that, especially where I work now. It's very lazy ass people and very slow work. So for the most part, there's always a nuance to everything. But anyway, that's the sad episode. It's 228. And I'm good. Just sad guy sometimes. It's all good. So anyway, it's June 3rd. It's Monday, 7:54 p.m. Fuck meal prep also. Just got an email that they're fulfilling my order and I'm hyped about that. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace out. No, there's actually one more thing I wanted to add. I was just thinking, but someday in the future, I want to look back at all these times spent alone, these hard days, working nights, working 3 fucking jobs, doing this meal prep bullshit, trying to afford my first business investment. I'm going to look back and be like, damn, dude, fucking did it. And then when that happens, everything that I'm doing now, all the shit that I'm going through now it's going to be magnified 10x. It's going to be so much. I'm just going to look back and be like, damn, that was so worth it. And I'm so proud of myself. But I'm only ever going to get to that point if I never give up. So I just have to stick with that mentality. So one day I'm going to look back and be like, hell yeah, I fucking did it. It was all worth it. I did all that. I grinded. I persevered. I did all that shit. Now look at me. And that's what I'm hyped for. So now that's the show. Hey, thanks for listening. And quick reminder here. So this podcast doesn't prioritize professionalism or quality at all. It's just meant to be a shoot from the hip type podcast with the intent just to get a quick message out. So some episodes might be inaudible in 30 seconds and others might be 45 minutes and super crisp sounding. So all these are being made so that by episode 7,305, which is 20 years, we can come back and see the entire playbook of how I made it to wherever I'm going. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.